I would like to call to order the City Council meeting for the City of Monona on Monday, March 16th, 2015. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Wood.
Here.
Alder Spate will be here later. Alder O'Connor.
Here.
Alder Holmquist.
Here.
Alder Thompson is excused. Alder Bussey.
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion for approval of the minutes of the March 2nd meeting?
Second.
There's a motion second. Are there any corrections, deletions, or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes have been approved. We have one public appearance this evening for a proclamation declaring Sunday, March 29th, 2015 as Greater Madison Young Professionals Day in the city of Monona. Ernie, you want to join me at the podium, please? And I always butcher your name, so I'm going to let you say it so that we get it correctly. So
Ariana Mankarian.
Ariana?
I'm the president-elect of the Urban League of Greater Madison Young Professionals.
So I am proud to provide you with this proclamation this evening, which reads, whereas the mayor of the city of Monona, Wisconsin has the authority to recognize occasions of outstanding significance, and whereas the attraction and retention of young professionals is essential to the future competitiveness of the city of Monona, its businesses, and its residents. And whereas the Urban League of Greater Madison Young Professionals is a community-based organization that provides civic, philanthropic, and career networking opportunities to Madison area residents aged 21 to 45. Just move past that age. And whereas the ULGM-YP has made effort to unite young professional organizations in the Madison area to celebrate the achievements and contributions of young professionals in the Madison community through the Emerge Gala on March 28, 2015. Now, therefore, I, Robert E. Miller, Mayor of the City of Monona, Dane County, Wisconsin, do hereby proclaim Sunday, March 29, 2015 as Greater Madison Young Professionals Day in Monona. And I encourage city businesses and civic leadership to support the young professionals in their endeavors. Signed in the City of Monona, Dane County, Wisconsin, the 16th day of March 2015, Robert E. Miller. Congratulations. Can you explain a little bit about the organization?
I can. The Urban League of Greater Madison Young Professionals was founded a couple of years ago under the umbrella of the Urban League of Greater Madison, and kind of like the proclamation says, we are a young professionals organization, and we do represent the mission of the Urban League, which is to develop workforce development and education, so we're proud to support that. We hold the Emerge Gala. This is our second annual, so of course you are all invited to the Emerge Gala on March 28th, in which we do bring the YPs together throughout the community and recognize those of us that have done a good job supporting the community and representing where we come from. So thank you. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Bob, and thank you.
You're welcome. I'm a Facebook friend this last year with her and see that she is one busy lady doing these meetings with this organization. It's a wonderful organization, so we have a bright future, so thank you very much. All right. There's no one here registered for a public hearing, so I'll declare that section closed. We do have some items on the consent agenda this evening. The first is approval of applications for the 2014-15 operators licenses for Matthew Oninsky at the Speedway on Royal Avenue and Dawn Tosef of Bourbon Street Grill. Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The applications have been approved. Number 2 is the approval of an application for 15-16 operator license for Amber M. Detweiler for the PDQ food store. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? application has been approved. Finally, there's the approval of applications for 15 through 17 operator licenses for William Knowltner of the Bridge Lounge, Wendy Hughes of the Bridge Lounge, Ki Chen of World Buffet, Xiao Lu of World Buffet, and Margaret Kiefer of the East Side Club. Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval. Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The licenses, applications have been approved. Moving to item G is council action items. Under item number 1, unfinished business, is consideration of resolution 15-3-2018 is approving a new Monona Transit logo brought forth by the Monona Transit Commission. Is there a motion for approval? Is there a second? There's a motion and second. Mark?
Yep, last meeting, we brought forth a new business, was a copy of the new transit new logo for the Monona Transit. It's part of their marketing project that we're working on right now. The council asked to go back to make sure we met our specs for this, and we did. We had to actually change the colors and the font, and this is the revise of it, revision of it. Once we get this, we'll go back to the committee and go back to Greenleaf, and we'll start working on some other marketing stuff for us.
Comments? Would note that Mark shared, and maybe just said that, I apologize, I was talking to the administrator, but that is the right font now?
Yes, font and color.
Official city font and the official PMS color. Alder Holmquist.
And I'm glad we have those changes. A piece that still sticks out at me is the image of the type of bus, and even the image of the bus doesn't seem right.
Well, the commission at the time, we were looking at the one on the bus, looked like what our buses look like, and this is kind of what our buses look like right now. They have been for the last 10, 15 years. Soon that's what's going to go on for the next 10, 15 years, hopefully.
I guess, so part of it was that, and the other part is and maybe it's just how I'm viewing it, but it looks like the bus image is, I don't know if Keystone is the right version. The right side of the bus, perspective-wise, is out of proportion of the left side. I don't know if that makes sense. So if you draw a three-dimensional cube,
Sure.
how things are meant so you hold proportion. It doesn't appear correctly, but maybe it's just my view of it.
Not being an artist, but this you're saying.
You want to update it? I don't. So you want something
Yeah.
shaved
But
off
it's
there?
just shaving that
That's
upper
what it
right
doesn't seem like the
corner
buses.
looked a little blocky.
Too high on top.
It was too high in that right corner.
Yeah.
It's fatter on the right side than on
We can
the
get
left
that
side of the
changed, it's
face.
not a problem.
And maybe that's just how the image was dropped in there, but just as long as it is what it's supposed to be. Right now, it seems off.
So you want it more curvy on there, is that? Like what
Just
he
in
was
proportion
showing?
is all you're
I
saying,
just
right?
want it done correctly. Right now, it's dropped in, and one side has been elongated where the other side hasn't.
Sure.
They'll know exactly what you're talking about if you
Okay.
show them that.
Further questions? But that's not a showstopper to you, okay.
No, I mean,
All right, all those in favor say aye.
I
Opposed? Whoop, Mark, did you
Oh,
want
I'll
to?
wait till you approve it.
Okay, it's approved.
I just want to give a quick update on the transit while I was
Yep.
up here. I just sent this out to the committee, the commission. We just had our two biggest months since 2012, so we've increased our ridership, I think up to 5 or 6, for us, 5 or 6 riders, so.
Have you been doing marketing, or what do you think?
What's been going on, we get a lot of students now are going to the UW, we're finding a lot of those people, and there's people just using it more in general, I think, it's just.
Have you been able to determine, I know we expanded the routes several years ago, is that having an
It does have a little
impact?
bit of an impact, yes, it does, but it's not having a major impact.
Alder O'Connor?
Maybe that we have an arrangement with UW where who's part of the student's pass
Right,
is
the-
paid for by the university, right?
really?
The word is spread,
Okay.
and for employees also.
Yeah, we have different arrangements, the new thing is to pay for people's transit, so they are helping us out that way.
So we're not paying for the whole thing, but
Yep.
it's better than others.
It's finding a parking spot.
Right.
Further questions of Mark? Thanks, Mark. Good job. Item 1B is consideration of Resolution 15-3-2015, adopting the 2014-18 Parks and Open Space Plan brought forth by the Parks and Rec Director. Is there a motion for approval? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second. Again, last week, I asked that if you did have the opportunity to bring your last meetings, so we wouldn't have to reprint that again, but I'm sure you'll have it all
Does
memorized.
anybody need it? I have a copy.
So I have a copy if anyone has any questions. Jake?
Good evening. Thanks for having me again. At the last meeting, we had talked about the classification of all of our park systems, so we did bring it up as an agenda item with the Park and Recreation Board. In your packet, I kind of have the classification and level of service that most municipalities have been using since the National Recreation and Park Association, NRPA, kind of put together a standard back in 1996. So a lot of communities have been using this. NRPA right now is rebranding those standards, realizing that each community has different nuances and that it's not kind of a one-size-fit-all box when we're talking about parks and the importance of what amenities should be in specific parks. So if I can get the little monitor on here, guys, in the back.
So this is the same that was in the packet what you put in?
The first the first page is from the
The
previous.
definitions.
Yeah, the definitions. And so what we did is we kind of looked at those definitions and how they relate specifically to Monona and tweaked them a little bit. So this is what was in the original plan. We have neighborhood parks, community parks, area parks, and open space conservation. And as we talked about the original NRPA standards, there was another category called mini parks, which is much smaller in scope and scale, and we do have a lot of smaller parks, and looked at kind of how that relates to what we're doing in Monona, and also the classification of an area park was much more of a regional park in scope and size, and we really don't have an area park. We have more of a community park. So what we did is we went from that to this. And so through a discussion at Park and Recreation Board, we looked at kind of redefining a classification level of a mini park with kind of a pocket park, smaller in size, less than an acre, serve a concentrated or limited population, and less than a kind of a quarter-mile service radius. These parks mainly focus on passive recreation, typically do not offer off-street parking. So we moved from neighborhood parks to a mini park, Birch Haven, Graham, Tecumseh, and Wild Haven.
Jake, please refresh my memory on where's Three Meadows?
Three Meadows is over by Menards, on our newest development, residential development in Monona, Cops Avenue. And
Mayor Call's Park.
yes,
Oh,
and Rod Call's
okay, I know that one.
neighborhood park.
All right, lovely park that it is.
And so we moved a lot of our parks into the neighborhood park category, which seems to fit, what we were looking at. So parks that serve the recreational and social needs of the adjoining residential neighborhood and focus on informal, active, and passive recreation. So there's still parks that are designated for what we would call intense recreational purposes. In some of these categories, we do have shelters, we do have water fountains, we do have ball diamonds that we schedule activities in. And so we did move, for example, Arrowhead Park went from a community park to a neighborhood park. Frostwoods Beach went from a community park to a neighborhood park. And we did move Stonebridge also into a neighborhood park. So more of our lake access parks, some a little bit bigger in size than those mini pocket parks. When we're talking about national acreage standards, none of our parks really match up to that because they're much smaller in scale. So we kind of have to use our relative acreage in our park system and put them in these categories. And so the majority of the parks, and some of these get a lot of use or have multiple uses within the park itself. For example, Frostwoods has the playground equipment and a baseball diamond and a basketball court. Stonebridge has both passive recreation and also has a little bit bigger draw than maybe a pocket park because we've got the marina there for sailboats and lake viewing as well. Community parks are basically our area parks. Ahuska and Winnequa will be moved into the community park category. Our two biggest parks, our two most active parks, parks that are scheduled for special events and much larger events that can be equipped in those specific parks. The open space and conservation stayed the same, and then we added a special use category / boat launch and included our 3 lake access boating facilities, Toniwata Trail, Winnequa Trail, and Lattice.
Well, I don't know about the others, but this is great. This, I think, hits it a lot more common sense than the last one, so thank you for taking that back.
Yeah, I think it's a much better.
Any other comments on the definitions? Okay. Is that,
That's all I have.
that was the only thing we asked you to return back for? Okay, but you are, okay. Are there any questions on this item, or again, if there's anything that you wanted to ask about the plan? And again, as mentioned last week, approval of the plan means the concept of the direction of where it's going. It does not mean that you're approving all of the items listed in the wish list. No further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jake. Thank you. Good job. Thank the committee, too. Item G1C is consideration of Resolution 15-3-2012, the awarding of a contract for the 2015 Stormwater Improvement Project brought forth by the Public Works Committee. Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
Yeah, we don't have any public works.
Second.
Yeah, motion and second. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. We're back for the second reading on this bid award. First reading we had on March 2nd. We received bids on February 5th from 4 bidders for the stormwater improvements project. Badgerland Excavating came in with a low bid at $640,997. We are receiving some grant funding for this project, DNR grant award of $84,198. We will be applying for 2 more grants, a Bridge Aid grant through Dane County, and also the Dane County Urban Water Quality Grant. We'll be resubmitting those grants later this year.
Question. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead, Mayor.
Questions? I didn't mean to interrupt you if you weren't done.
No, I was just going to explain what it involved, but I think everybody probably knows by this point.
Hearing no questions, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Bussey.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Alder O'Connor.
Aye.
Alder Holmquist.
Aye.
Approved. Moving on to the next item, G1E, is consideration of Resolution 15-3-2014, approval of a cost-sharing agreement between the City of Madison and the City of Monona for the reconstruction of Tompkins Drive, brought forth by Public Works Committee. Oh, I missed one?
Yep.
I approved that one already, don't worry about it, so. All right, returning back to D. Consideration of Resolution 15, it's that damn cold storage building, I just have a phobia.
You said you approved it, though, so we're good.
No, I misspoke. We need further deliberation of item D is consideration of Resolution 15-3-2013, the awarding of a contract for the design and construction of the Public Works Cold Storage Building brought forth by the Public Works Committee. Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval. Second.
Motion and second. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sorry for that slight.
Again, we're back for the second read. The first reading was on March 2nd. We received bids on February 12th from 7 contractors for this project. Gilbank Construction provided a low bid, $259,200. This is a design build contract. Public Works Committee reviewed this as well at our March 4th meeting, received a recommendation for approval. This does have to go to the Facilities Committee once we get the design from Gilbank. And we have to contact our smoke alarm provider for smoke alarms in the new building as well.
Construction would commence when?
Once they get state approval back, probably mid-May, hopefully done by midsummer.
Questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Bussey?
Aye.
Alder Wood?
Aye.
Alder O'Connor?
Aye.
Alder Holmquist?
Motion carries. Thank you, Dan. Now, moving on to my favorite item E, consideration of Resolution 15-3-2014, the approval of a cost-sharing agreement between the City of Madison and the City of Monona for the reconstruction of Tompkins Drive, again brought forth by Public Works Committee. Is there motion for approval?
Move approval. Second.
There's a motion and second for approval. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, this is also here for the second read. We had the first reading on March 2nd. Public Works reviewed this on March 4th. Got the recommended approval. This was also reviewed and approved by Attorney Cole. He had the comments that the agreement should include plans and specifications approved by Monona, which is outlined in item number 1. Our estimated cost is around $60,300. In this handout, I did provide the estimated cost breakdown as far as the assessments. The city portion, 40%, is going to be around $11,792. The property owner portion at 60% is going to be around $17,689. We will be having the public hearing for the preliminary assessments at our April 1st Public Works Committee meeting.
Have you heard from anyone yet?
We have not.
Okay.
I don't believe it's going to be contested. We have 3 property owners, and they've all been given a preliminary assessment notice already.
Okay.
So I think it's going to go okay.
Further questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Holmquist?
Aye.
Alder Bussey?
Aye.
Alder Wood?
Aye.
Alder O'Connor?
Motion carries. Item G1E, F. Consideration of Resolution 15-3-2017, the purchase approval of one current model, Year Extreme Vac Leaf Collection Unit mounted on a Freightliner M2-106 chassis, brought forth again by the Public Works Committee. Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion and second. Mr. Stefani.
Thank you, Mayor. This is here for the second read. We had our first reading on March 2nd, Public Works Committee review on March 4th, and it did receive the recommended approval. We received proposals on February 23rd for our leaf vac collection truck. Bruce Municipal Equipment and are now provided proposals for us. I am recommending the higher proposal of $159,832 for Bruce Municipal Equipment. The low proposal provided by R Now did not meet our specifications for the truck. We do have the funds available in our capital budget. We have $161,000 available, and this does meet our budget.
So again, you've assured me that if approved tonight, I will not get any calls from residents next October?
I cannot
about
guarantee
the
that.
lack of our terrible leaf pickup. It'll only be compliments. Questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder O'Connor?
Aye.
Alder Holmquist?
Aye.
Alder Bussey?
Aye.
Alder Wood?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Dan. Good work. Item 2 is new business. 2A is convening in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute, section 19.85, paren 1, paren E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. This will be regarding the Monona Waterfront Redevelopment Project. Is there a motion to convene in closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second to convene in closed session. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder O'Connor.
Aye.
Alder Holmquist.
Aye.
Alder Bussey.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Motion carries. This should be no more than 10 minutes. I would like to reconvene the council in open session under Wisconsin Statute 19.82, paren 2. Moving on to item 2C, you will note is starred for immediate action this evening, is consideration of Resolution 15-3-2019, is authorizing the extension of options to purchase with Inland Lakes Land Company LLC and the Monona Bridge Road LLC, brought forth by the city administrator. Is there,
I'll move to suspend the rules and take this out of order.
Second.
there's a motion and a second to suspend the rules, take this item out of order. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion for approval?
Move approval.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Alder Bussey.
Aye.
Alder Wood.
Aye.
Alder O'Connor.
Aye.
Alder Holmquist.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Moving on to item D, you will note again is start for immediate action, consideration of 2014-15 patio permit for Village Lanes, 208 Owen Road in Monona, brought forth by the License Review Committee. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
I will so move.
Is there a
Second.
second? There's a motion and second to suspend the rules, take this item out of order. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll move approval.
Is there a second? Motion second. Alder Wood?
This was before the License Review Commission and was recommended for approval. It's actually been, I think, it actually might have been used last year, and anyway, it meets all the basic requirements that we had in the ordinance.
Are you aware of any concerns that happened last year? Did it run fine?
No, I'm not aware of any concerns.
Chief, are you aware that there were any problems? No? Good. Further discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E, again, start for immediate action, is consideration of Resolution 15-3-2020, approval of participation in a Wisconsin Bureau of Transportation Safety Grant titled 2015 Seatbelt Task Force Grant, brought forth by the Police Department. Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
It's a motion
Second.
and a second to suspend the rules and take this item out of order. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. Sergeant Weigel. Lieutenant! Oh, man, I just, I'm trying to save that money. No, I give you more money if you're a sergeant. No. I'm sorry. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I note that at Personnel and Finance, this motion was approved. Welcome again.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an $11,000 overtime grant in partnership with the town of Madison, the village of McFarland, and the village of DeForest for traffic enforcement, focusing on seatbelt enforcement.
You might want to mention split.
It is an $11,000 overtime grant. 25% of that is our match. It's a soft match, and that is paid for out of Social Security, retirement benefits, and fuel costs.
And Mark noted that we have about 25,000, I believe, in total in matching funds that we approved in the budget. So this would take some small portion of that, so it's totally covered within the budget. We've done it in the past. Lieutenant Weigel assures me it will be as effective with or without our bicycle police officer who was so good at calling in the team when he was on his bike. So, further questions or discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Lieutenant. Item F is consideration of ordinance 3-15-670, amending section 2-4-24 of the Code of Ordinances regarding the Distinguished Service Committee. Joan?
This is actually brought forth by the committee. They did approve a change in the committee's duties to only consider awards for volunteers. It was brought, the idea came forward from the city administrator and Mayor Miller that employees should be recognized on a regular basis based on their years of service, starting at 10 years and then following 5 years thereafter. Because, employees could be, it could be 25 or more years out before they could be recognized by the Distinguished Service Award due to the fact that they only choose 3 per year. So it was, the committee did agree to that, and then there are just some language changes to kind of clean up the ordinance a little bit.
Questions? Alder Bussey?
So why does it exclude employees?
Pardon me?
Because there's only 3, when they were lumped in with the public, and there's 3 per year, and so there might be, let's just say, 4 employees who have served 10, 15, or 20 years, but we might select 2 citizens, and there's only room for 1 employee of those 4 who've already. So it could be that it could go a lot of years without recognizing, and the belief was, and I think the city administrator argued well, that should we not acknowledge all employees who achieve 10, these landmark years of employment. So that way, it just frees up having to decide between the public and between staff. Staff will have their own awards recognition. I think it's cleaner this way, too.
Okay.
Further questions, Alderwood?
As long as it's clear in the ordinances that the committee can still recommend employees, because it sort of, you could read this as saying the only people who can get these awards are volunteer citizens serving for that time. But
Yep.
the employees will still be eligible, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Alder O'Connor?
Do we want to change the wording in the first whereas? I guess it's the only whereas where it says appropriate to recognize employees' years of service. Oh, I guess that's, okay, I understand what you're saying. So we're going to do that differently, and that's what we've got.
Yeah.
Okay. This will come back at the next council meeting. Unless further questions? No?
Mayor Miller, I just would like to clarify that actually this does, the committee would not be considering employees for the Distinguished Service Award. If they wanted to, they could recommend an employee to you for a mayoral award. But they would not, but their job would not
There's
be
3 different
to-
awards now.
Right,
Yeah.
their job would not be to consider employees.
The mayor selects mayoral award, and there's no number to that.
Right.
Then the committee, which includes the former mayor, is the history of that, who chairs that committee. They bring forth the Distinguished Service Award committees, and now this third bunt would be recognizing employees. So Alder Wood, your question, you could nominate someone that I would consider for mayoral award, but unless we change this, they would not be up the way it reads for Distinguished Service Committee. Correct, Joan?
Yes.
All right.
And if I could add that there was a council member, at least one, who said they really felt like that award from the Distinguished Service Award should be for volunteers, not employees.
This doesn't
Alder Holmquist.
disallow someone that is a citizen as well as an employee. I think, I like that it separates and has a procedure or process to look at the many folks that volunteer in a variety of different capacities, but then also looks at how is it that we're recognizing ongoing service as an employee, and you could be both, which we have lots of folks that would fall in both categories, and I'm okay with that.
Mayor, just these are obviously very good questions. To answer that last one, though, the awards are considered for all citizen volunteers. So if a citizen volunteer is also a employee of the city, that employment status would not disqualify them. They'd
their
still be
volunteer
a
work.
citizen volunteer
Right.
and eligible for the award.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Moving on to item H is reports of committees, commissions, boards, and staff. Let's start with Alder Holmquist. Is anyone, Chief, anything you want to add? All right. Alder Holmquist.
No report.
Alder Bussey.
No report. Planning Commission is meeting next Monday and a full agenda.
Attorney Cole.
No, Mayor.
Alder O'Connor.
Sustainability meets on Thursday.
Alder Spate. Welcome.
Thank
How
you.
was the strings concert?
It was lovely.
All right. Thank you. As always.
Yes. The Monona Transit Commission will be meeting on Wednesday night at 7 p.m., which is an hour later than normal.
Earlier this evening, Mr. Hotecker shared that ridership is up for the last 2 months, so
Yeah.
good job. Alder Wood.
Library Board meets tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in this building.
City Clerk.
Working on the upcoming election, April 7th. Be sure you come out and vote.
Yeah, Monona has the last election again, we didn't top all the cities, but we were very near for the highest turnout of any municipality in Dane County, so
Yeah, we just
speaks a lot towards the community, and I think also to the great service the city clerk and her minions provide.
Thank you. We did just send special voting deputies to Heritage Monona today. They'll be going again on Wednesday to serve at least 34 people there. And then we did send out additional 135 absentee ballots today. So on the absentee level, there's already a little bit of a turnout.
Could other senior citizens request that service, or do they pay us for that service, or why are we doing Heritage and not Frostwoods?
The law states that a care facility is required to be served by special voting deputies. There is not care provided at the other elderly housing facilities. However, they are more than welcome to come over and vote with the special voting deputies if they so desire. So they are there to serve whoever comes to them. Any citizen can come there and vote in person with the special voting deputies, but it is designed and regulated to serve those who are really would have a more difficult time getting out.
Great. And for Frostwoods, that might be convenient, just walk across Village Lane's parking lot.
Mhm.
They're there.
I have provided the special voting deputies with the list of registered voters and who has applied for a ballot to be mailed to them so that they wouldn't be duplicating what's already done for those residents. But it would also let them know that they are registered, so they wouldn't have to register again, and that they can apply for an absentee ballot to be mailed to them, or continue to come and visit the special voting deputies.
Okay. City Administrator Marsh.
The CDA, Community Development Authority, will meet on next Tuesday, the 24th, at 6:30 p.m. And also, the April 4th is the Easter egg hunt at 10 a.m., Winnequa Park, the soccer field area. And preceding that will be a breakfast to begin at approximately 9 a.m., but look at the website for the exact starting time of that.
In that CDA meeting, will we be taking up creating the TIF district?
Yep. It'll be the first step in the process of designating or starting a new TID 10, which would be the Bridge Road Broadway TID,
The
Riverfront project. Yep.
Alder Bussey, when is Plan Commission next?
7 o'clock next Monday.
Do we have a new restaurant on that agenda? Do you know?
I don't know that.
I think there's a review of their patio area is coming before planned.
Okay.
My memory serves.
I just don't want to speak out of school, but Monona residents have been oft asking for additional local interesting restaurant choices, and as everyone should know, we approved the Waypoint restaurant at the Traced development, and there's new Qdobas coming in at American, and then hopefully, but I don't want to misspeak, but there's a restaurant, a nice restaurant opportunity looking at the former Salad Creations location. And I thought that might be coming to plan shortly.
Yeah, you might be right.
Okay. So very exciting. You've been asking for restaurants. The city's trying to deliver restaurant opportunities, so stay tuned. Other than that, obviously, the skating rink has been closed for the year with 70-degree temperatures today. It was a good year. I want to thank staff for maintaining and doing a great job on that. Beyond that, I don't have anything else. Do we have any appointments? Yes, we have a number of appointments. First, to the Board of Review, we have Bob Larson, the chair. His term would end in 2016. Judy Lynn would first alternate, ending in 2016. Kelly Unke is the second alternate, ending in 2016.
His last.
Oh, when you have too many agendas, sorry. Can we reapprove all those appointments again? I like how quick you guys are to the gun here. All right, we seem to have some new appointments this time. Starting with Jeff Besch to Public Works, appointment running through 2017. Brandon Long to the Sustainability Committee through 2017. John Klinzing to License Review Committee through 2017. And Jim Flaster to License Review, also 2017. Is there a motion for approval of these appointments?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Appointments have been approved. A motion for adjournment.
Move adjournment.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meetings.
It is on the agenda. I just checked.
Is it? Okay. Sorry. All right. It is on the agenda. Spread the word for the new restaurant.
Are they going to need a liquor?
Headline news.
They're requesting a liquor license.
We might score low in the
Yes,
popularity
they want a whole one,
rankings, but
and
we've
what
got
they'll
better
probably-
restaurants.
The other place, I think there was like a beer pub or something going in.
I haven't heard from
That's
that.
beer and wine.
I
at the
haven't
other
heard.
place. Down by American?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's beer and wine.
I haven't heard it from that one at all.
Because yeah, that'll be it, right? We have
Pardon
one-
me?
We have one.
One, yes, and it probably, I told him to apply for everything if he wants to, and he'll probably get beer and wine.
So,